There's no question in my mind that this is what we now know happened is a very, very grave matter indeed. For somebody to have worked for the BBC and at the BBC over a number of decades and to have been responsible for what the police describe as an unprecedented scale of child sexual exploitation there is no question in my mind this is a very grave matter indeed. And I would seek to show that the response the BBC has made recognises that gravity. I came away from the panorama firmly of the view that investigation, even if in the judgment of the editor it wasn't ready for transmission at the point he was looking at it, should have been allowed to continue.
Helen Bowman said to you, Newsnight is looking into Jimmy Savile. What did you think they were investigating?
I don't remember reflecting on it. This was a busy lunch,
You're told that one of the flagship investigative programmes on the BBC is looking into one of the most iconic figures who you are about to commission huge tributes to, and you don't want to know what it is.
It wasn't that I didn't want to know. What was in my mind was this determination not to show an undue interest.
But just saying, thanks, Helen. What are you looking at? I mean, why did she tell you if you were determined not to ask what it was about? She presumably thought you should know, and therefore would have expected you at least to say, really, that's interesting, what is it about?
I assumed she was preparing me, as indeed she was, for the possibility that I would need to think about changing the schedule, and it was that information I took from the conversation.
So you knew that she was telling you that it was sufficiently serious that you might have to think about changing the schedule, which is quite a significant thing to do, and you didn't even say to her, what's it about?
Well, I didn't. I have no recollection of asking her what it was about.
That was extraordinary lack of curiosity, apart from anything else.
Well, as I say, what was informing my judgment is this, and I think this was emphasised by the fact that I've come from news and current affairs, that I absolutely didn't want to do anything that was construed as showing an excessive interest.
And you think that just saying, thanks, Helen, what area are you looking at, would have been interpreted as somehow interfering in an investigation?
Well, I genuinely worry that all sorts of things that people say and do inside the BBC are potentially construable as doing that. I was being oversensitive, but I was being very sensitive to that point.